All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and today we have a watch from MWC. Never had a chance to look at a watch from MWC, that's Military Watch Company, but a friend of mine, Jared, over at MilSpec Watch Group, reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to check out an MWC? Of course I did. I wanted to check one out, so I went to the website, looked at some different models, and I picked this one out. Now, this particular model, I think, had to come from their German warehouse, so I'm not sure if it's as common of a model as you're going to find out there. I know the newer models that they have sword hands and some different stuff. Still the H3 or the T25 loom tubes on them and stuff like that, but definitely a cool watch. So let's check this one out, bring it up here. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you guys right off is this is a big watch. I mean, if you guys can tell right away, we've got a big strap on it, but we'll get into the specs here really quick. You have a 44 millimeter case from side to side, not including that crown, 49.8, so coming in just under 50 from lug tip to lug tip. Now, here's the big one. It's 18 millimeters thick from the domed case back to the top of the domed sapphire crystal here. This is a 100 atmosphere waterproof watch, so 1,000 meters of waterproof. So, you know, you need a big thick case on there, but very big. And like I said, 24 millimeter lug openings. Now on a bigger watch like this, you really do want a wider strap to help support the weight of the big watch like this. So very nice layout on this watch. As you guys can tell, a very military style layout dial. You have the 1 through 12, the 24-hour on the inner chapter there. This is running a quartz movement in this one. It's a 715 IL from Ronda. If you're not familiar with that movement, it's a very tried and true movement. What's cool about it is with the I and the L, you have indicator, which is the battery life indicator for end of life. So when it starts to wear down the battery, the second hand will actually tick 2 seconds at a time when the battery is wearing down. Lets you know that you need to get a battery change. And it'll run like that for usually a couple of months like that before you need to get the battery change, but it won't just die on you, and that's the cool thing about that. Also with the L in that reference number for that, you have a long battery life. This watch comes with 10 years battery life. So that's really impressive. So you can own a watch like this for 30 years and you basically only have to change the battery 3 times. So I think that's pretty cool. Date functionality over here at the 4 o'clock position on this watch, also with that Ronda movement, so you get that functionality also. Looking at the case here, I wanted to note that the crown is at 4 o'clock, which is really good for a big watch like this. Looking at the finish on the watch overall, pretty much brushing all the way around. There you can see the automatic helium escape valve. Nice deep knurling on that bezel. And from the side here, you guys can see that matte finish of that ceramic bezel insert there. So on this dial, you have 2 types of lume, or 2 types of lighting being used. You have superluminova on the bezel insert itself, so you'll see that glow differently. And then you have the T25 lume tubes on the 5-minute marks on the indices and also on the handset. The pip on the second hand is also superluminova. We'll go ahead and pull the strap off really quick here so we can take a look at the case back. You'll see a lot of German writing here on the case back. If you guys could translate it for me, I would be very happy if you guys could do that. And I think up there at the top, this looks like maybe Military Watch Company. You've got your 1,000 meters or 100 atmospheres for waterproof. You got a serial number. Interesting stuff here, kind of noting the specs of the watch. Very common on military watches to have specs like that on the back. A nice screw down case back, big heavy duty pins being used for the spring bars on this watch. So very nice. We'll go ahead and pause it for just a second. We'll throw this watch on my 7-inch wrist. Believe it or not, I wore this watch all day in the field yesterday, and actually it wore very well. It keeps excellent time. It's a good field watch. It is big. I will tell you that it is big, and I had a couple people comment on the size of the watch I was wearing on my wrist. But let's go ahead and throw it on my 7-inch wrist. And then I did want to go ahead and throw some of the different straps on that Jared included. We've got a canvas, we've got another NATO strap, and we've got a carbon fiber strap. So we'll check those out on the watch also. So here's the watch on my 7-inch wrist. And like I said, the 50 millimeters lug to lug just fits my wrist just right. 44 is not too big. As a matter of fact, when I started getting back into watches, I was really into the bigger sizes. And I do occasionally still love wearing a big watch on my wrist. Now you can see the thickness there at 18 millimeters. And I've got something goofy going on with the strap here. I've got it bent up under my wrist, so that looks funny, but very nicely done. Bezel, I didn't show you guys that. It's 120 click. And you guys can hear it's got a very tight, grippy, it's just very tight. It's not a loose bezel, so which is what you want on like an industrial style tool watch like this or anything like that. But very nicely put together. Let's throw it on a couple of different straps, and then we'll go ahead and do the loom shot. I'm going to put it out there that the loom shot with these watches that have lume and the tritium tubes is a little bit difficult to do because the lume tends to override the tritium tubes because they have a softer glow to them. But let's try some different straps on this watch, and you guys let me know down below in the comments which one you think looks best. Well, I know a NATO is a NATO is a NATO, but I do like it on this gray one. I think the gray, for me, is a little bit better than the black. It gives a little bit of contrast, and I like that. This is actually the strap I wore it on when I wore it in the field yesterday. When I do wear a big watch like this, I'll tell you what, I do strap it on tight. But because the strap is so thick, that doesn't bother me at all. I kind of like the feel of it on the wrist. So let's throw on that canvas strap and see what it looks like. All right, well, that looks really good. I like the way that one looks on there a lot. I like that contrast of the green and the gray. This is kind of that retro military style canvas look, and I really like the way it looks on that watch. Even though it's a dive watch, you can put it on whatever you want. I think it looks cool. Definitely. And I think with the 18 millimeter case thickness, it's going to be nice wearing it on a two-piece strap like this to take some of that thickness out from underneath the watch. With a regular NATO strap, you're getting at least a millimeter or two of extra height out of that, so going to make a difference. But one more strap. I've got this carbon fiber one here, so I want to throw that on there so we can check that out, and then we'll check out the lume. Okay, last strap, and maybe this one's my favorite because the carbon fiber looks awesome. It's got a white leather underlay, and it says something about being water resistant. What does it say? It says water resistant. Can we see that? Techno carbon. So that's kind of cool. So I do like this strap on the watch. Looks really good. But the MWC DepthMaster, let's dim the lights and check out the lume on it. All right, so I'm doing this in total darkness. Now, like I said, the Super Luminova will tend to overwhelm the T25 tubes. But as you guys can see, all the way around here, and I'm going to try to get my finger in here, you can see those tubes glowing, and you can see the tubes on the hands glowing also. A little bit difficult to see here in the darkness, but not in the darkness. Easy for me to see, but a little difficult behind the camera. The camera just never does the tritium tubes justice. But let's go ahead and bring up the lights and close out this video. All right, so there it is, the MWC DepthMaster, a 1,000 meter dive watch. If you guys are looking for a deep diver in your collection, this might be something to go to. You do have the option of an automatic version also if you're not a fan of quartz watches. I tend to like the set it and forget it of a quartz watch. They're going to set you back around $400 and some change. I'll leave links down below in the description to Mil-Spec Watch Group and the DepthMaster watches they have over there on their website. So, all right, awesome stuff. Thank you to Mil-Spec Watch Group. Thank you to MWC for letting me check out this watch on the channel. Guys, you like the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.